both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Don't worry, I can't hear you. Maybe you don't want me to hear you. Still not hearing you. The audio in here is very loud. Seriously.
Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
We have neither summer nor winter, neither autumn nor spring. We have instead the days when the gold sun shines on the lush green cane fields magnificently. The days when the rain beats like bullets on the roofs and there's no sound but the swish of water in the gullies and trees struggling in the high Jamaica winds. Also, there are the days when leaves fade from off guango trees and the reaped cane fields lie bare and fallow to the sun. But best of all, there are the days when the mango and the logwood blossom, when the bushes are full of the sound of bees and the scent of honey, when the tall grass sways and shivers to the slightest breath of air, when the buttercups have paved the earth with yellow stars, and beauty comes suddenly, and the rains have gone.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma is good. So hush, little baby, don't you
One of these mornings, you gonna rise up singing. Yes, you spread your wings and you take to the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can hold you. Stand by.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, baby, don't you cry. Oh, don't you cry.
Summertime by Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. And before that, Nature, the poem by H.D. Carberry. It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 21st day of the 6th month of 2023, the International Year of Millets, those cereals grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. Put another way, it's the 21st day of the first month of the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season. In this Disaster Risk Reduction Month, Road Safety Awareness Month, Brides Month, and Pride Month. It's National Immigrant Heritage Month in the USA. In fact, members of the Caribbean diaspora in America are celebrating National Caribbean American Heritage Month and Caribbean Cuisine Month, also in the USA. In fact, June in the USA is being observed as Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, Cataract Awareness Month, Myasthenia Gravis Awareness Month, Aphasia Awareness Month, Congenital Cytomegalovirus Awareness Month, Migraine and Headache Awareness Month, National Safety Month, Scleroderma Awareness Month, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, PTSD Awareness Month, Scoliosis Awareness Month, and Men's Health Month. It's day of election of the first president in Turkmenistan, a national day in Greenland, Organic Act Day in the US Virgin Islands. The White Nights Festival has started in Russia. It's National Aboriginal Day in Canada and National Music Day, or Fête de la Musique en France. It's the official start of summer today, Wednesday, the 21st of June, 2023. And we greet you well, wherever in the world you are, listening to us right now here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est mercredi le 21 juin 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Wednesday, the 21st of June, 2023, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. Looking to take your agricultural business to the next level? New growth opportunities are here with the Development Bank of Jamaica. Small farmers, agro-processors, and all MSMEs in the agriculture sector can access up to $30 million in loans. Visit us at www.dbankjm.com or send us a WhatsApp text message at 876-371-3830 to find out about our agri-based loans. Conditions apply.
Tell a farmer, tell a friend, the DBJ have some feeling. All right, we are trying to build back better.
Need water for agricultural purposes? Apply to the National Irrigation Commission for your irrigation services. Let's grow smart and eat smart with irrigated agriculture. Call National Irrigation Commission at 876-927-6727. Visit their website at www.nicjamaica.com or visit any of their office locations today. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. Those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States or the United Kingdom. If you're in the United States and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, Your number is 0330 606 0953. 0330 We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVANMALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat. There's always YouTube. All you need is a smartphone, tablet, computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. Then you need internet connection, but more importantly, internet connectivity. One sure way to test for connectivity is by opening a browser like Google Chrome, for example. And if you're able to browse, you're good to go. If not, then you might need some assistance in resolving that issue. But it sure is good to have you on board both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. We welcome our usual listeners, those who have been with us for some time. We thank you very much. We cherish your commitment and your faithfulness, and we thank those who are on board for the first time. Good to have you join us. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, giving thanks as usual. Thank you very much, Ricardo. All the best. Norman Hines in St. Thomas is greeting us. Good afternoon to you, Norman Hines. Sheila Clark Wallace has a bit to say. She says, a blessing, Sir Dervan. Help me shout out happy birthday to my amazing husband, Norris Wallace, celebrating today from Elmont, New York. Wishing him God's richest blessings coming from his loving wife, Sheila Wallace, kids Noida, Kashma, Damien, and Kareem, grandson, Caden, and Jeremiah. We love you, Papa. Enjoy your special day. All right, that's from Sheila Clark Wallace. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. To you too, Faye Weller, thank you. Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation. Good to have you on board as well. Thank you very much. Velta Wilson in St. Thomas is greeting us as well. Thank you all so much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Asha Ash in London, England is joining us, and she says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in from London, England. Have a lovely day. Same to you, Asha Ash. And Devon White says, Dick, Tom, and Harry talking about everything except the Destru. Something is missing there, Devon. Then he sends us another message to say, everyone talking about from the 60s until now. Nobody talking about the destruction of people's lives in Jamaica in the early 1990s. As we have been saying since the start of this week, based on other expressions by other listeners, one of the beautiful things about being around at a time such as this is the ease with which one can access data on virtually everything and everyone. And we can find the tapes and we can play back the recordings, and we can find the newspaper, we can copy and print and otherwise produce the newspaper stories in relation to anything that has happened in Jamaica since 1834. And of course, we have the National Archives as well, and the National Library and related entities. There's no shortage of data, and there's no lack of access to data. The Access to Information Act has taken care of that. So you could perhaps check one of those many sources, like the Gleaner, for example, Devon White. The Gleaner is there. The information is there. Nothing is being hidden. And even if there are people who try to hide, it will come out at some point or another. Bob Marley reminds us all the time, what was hidden in the dark must come out to light. But having said that, history is something that we learn from, or we should learn from, as we move forward. Nothing is wrong with going back and checking and saying, oh, this is what had happened. I see. This was the person who was involved with, that kind of thing. So people have a sense of and context of people, places, and things. It's that's the way it is. Sean Patrick Young says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Good afternoon, Sean Patrick Young. Good to have you on board. Thanks for joining us. And Andrew Lyons says, good afternoon. A question. Have you ever in the last million years or present ever heard the PNP talk anything against any criminal in Jamaica? Yes. From time to time, murders are committed, crimes are committed, and the political leaders on both sides, yeah, up to more recently with the terrible death of that 8-year-old. Both sides were very strident and determined to play their part in minimizing a repetition of such a ghastly act. And they're in Parliament putting forward possible remedies, etc. So there's again, as we said, the Gleaner the Gleaner has been in publication since 1834, and before that 17. When was that now? In the 1700s, the precise date escapes me at the moment, but we used to have the weekly Jamaica Courant. That was you could say it was a newspaper before the Gleaner, the weekly Jamaica Courant. Eunice Riggin says, greetings, Mr. Malcolm. Greetings to you too, Eunice Riggin. Thank you for tuning in. And Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Good afternoon, Cherry Henry. Good to have you on board. And Andrew Lyons' message wasn't finished. He was saying that why are the criminal gunmen and whoever? Well, you could help us, Andrew Lyons. You seem to have some information there in knowing who these people are. I would humbly suggest that you share the information with the police or some other agent or agency of the security services, so that we can take the necessary action as a country. How about that? Sophia Nemard, good afternoon to you as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's good to have you on board. Welcome. And share 876-922-4112. We had the pleasure of hosting the official launch of Denby 2023, or if you want to put it the other way, Denby 69. Denby this year, if you weren't previously made aware of the dates, Denby is the 5th, 6th, and 7th of August. 5, 6, 7, the 5th, 6th, and 7th of August. Make a note, mark your calendars, put in your reminders on your devices, because Denby is on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of August. And we're looking forward to Denby 69. And congratulations to all the stakeholders and the role they continue to play in celebrating agriculture, but also always constantly recognizing that there is always more work to be done, and there is still a whole lot more work to be done. Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation says, I'm asking Yinga, the bad violinist of Amy Jakes Garvey Community Center, to contact the Paul Miles Foundation, hearing that the children at the Learning Center need help. So here's Paul Miles again, doing what he does best, reaching out and seeking to assist those who are in need. In fact, I think we did see her. Was that her today? Yinga. I wonder if she was the one we saw today. Japanese, of Japanese extract. But by all means, Paul Miles, go ahead and pursue. We don't have her details, but let's see. The community center, the Amy Jakes Garvey Community Center is quite prominent off Mountain View Avenue. Shouldn't be hard to find. That's off Mountain View Avenue. That's how, I believe that's how Jakes Road got its name, from Amy Jakes Garvey. I believe that's the one I'm remembering. If not her, then someone from the then KSAC. Don't want to mix them up this afternoon, but there's a history there. And it would be a good thing, Paul Miles, it would be a good thing just to connect with them and see how you can help. Speaking of help, we also have, let's see who is flying into Jamaica this week. We have coming in, where is it? We got a message. From, all right, let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Welcome to the new dimension in eye care, the Optical Zone, offering exceptionally comfortable eyewear. We fill prescriptions and do eye examinations. This complete optical store is conveniently located at Shop 14, York Plaza, Halfway Tree. Telephone 929-8656. The Optical Zone, providing vision for life. Introducing the new $2,000 note. The new $2,000 note was created to help bridge the gap between the $1,000 and $5,000 notes. With the introduction of the $2,000 note, alongside the $1,000 and $5,000 notes, fewer notes will be required to settle transactions. For example, instead of using 4 $1,000 notes to settle a transaction of $4,000, an individual could use just 2 notes, a combination of 2 of the new $2,000 notes. This substitution effect will lead to less reliance on the heavily demanded $1,000 bill, as well as generate cost savings for the bank over time.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness, your one-stop show to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-922-4112-5. You can also send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. That's Powering Your Health, powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction. Listen to every Wednesday at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM. And your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Yes, you spread your wings and you take to the sky.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. So this is the message we got today. Hi, Dervan. This is Maureen Green. Hi, Maureen Green. She says, my team is coming to Jamaica next week for the annual Back to School and Health Fair project, also awarding the Janice Nita Scholarship Fund to Bethlehem Teachers College in St. Elizabeth, and installing a computer lab at school in Nago's Head. And Maureen's organization, what's the title? The title escapes me. But this is an organization that has been in place for some time and has been serving Jamaica and Jamaicans at home and abroad. And we'll remember the organization in a little while. But this is, again, a reflection of, and another example of Jamaicans constantly planning how can we help Jamaica and Jamaicans, and are doing so quietly, except where they need others to know, so that they can position themselves to take advantage of whatever services or resources are being provided. And so her organization is called Free Spirit Outreach. Free Spirit Outreach. That's the name of the organization. Maureen Green is a parts expediter for Insight Global GE Healthcare and a realtor with Atlantic Florida Properties, serving from Port Lucie to Broward. As a parts expediter, she ensures that life support and crucial equipment and parts are sourced, facilitated, and expedited to the hospitals when required by biomeds based in major hospitals across the United States of America. In 2012, she returned to Jamaica, where she worked as parish manager for the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, serving the parish of Trelawney. The Jamaica Cultural Development Commission has been a custodian of the Jamaican culture since 1963, its mandate being to enhance national development through cultural practices by creating opportunities that unearth, develop, preserve, and promote creative talents. And so there's more we could tell you, but we'll leave it there for now. So the organization is called Free Spirit Outreach, Inc., INC, Free Spirit Outreach, Inc. And we thank you for touching base, Maureen Green. We'll keep in touch leading up to your back to school initiative. Thank you very much, and all the very best. Thank you. Let's go through for some of the other messages. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. James in East London has shared with us the usual collection of stories from the United Kingdom. And let's see the latest today. Trishana Latham refused to terminate her pregnancy after being diagnosed with breast cancer because he was a blessing. A young mom who always cared about others tragically died from cancer, leaving behind two young sons. Trishana Latham was loved by everyone for her genuine spirit and drive to help people. Sorry to hear that. A letter from London. Brixton celebrates Windrush. Thursday is the 75th anniversary, that's tomorrow, the 75th anniversary of the first docking near London of immigrant ship HMT Empire Windrush. And we're going to be learning more about that, all things being well, tomorrow afternoon. In the meantime, here's a call coming through on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to your listeners worldwide.
Thank you on their behalf.
Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
You know, this morning I was listening to Rustin Hyman. You know, I usually refer to him as irrevocable because nobody can contest his argument. Can deal with numbers, and numbers have no color. You know, he was saying the government was boasting about managing the economy during the COVID. But they left out something, you know, Jamaica got $1 billion US free.
From where?
From the US.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Well, he was saying everything should be in context. And sometimes, that's why I said the level of journalism in Jamaica is so weak. Because the public should have known that.
But the fact that you can talk about it means that it has been in the public domain. How it is treated is another matter. But
well,
that's
exactly my point.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly my point. Because we should know the truth, you know.
So that money came from the US, you said, to do what? To deal with COVID-19 matters. Is that it?
Yes, to bolster the effect.
Right. It's coming back to me now, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
And they also got some soft loans from international institutions like the IDB and so on and so.
And certain accommodations as well, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. But there was also one important factor that should be noted. The economy was on a decline prior to the intervention of COVID.
I've heard that spoken, yes.
Yes, Statin will tell you that. And the thing that bothers me, and I've been trying to wrap my head around it, is the politician trying to justify that salary raise. I can't see it in our country where the per capita income is 5,000 US.
You say they're trying to justify?
Justify it.
By what? It must be by working, since the thinking is the expectations just went up because they're getting more money now. So it means they must put in more muscles and more sweat.
But this should be seen.
Oh. So you're not seeing it?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. Because to give a perfect example of certain things is skewed in one direction and it bottlenecks when it comes to the poor, the masses. For example, the Bank of Jamaica gives an interest rate of 7% to all the banks.
Yes.
And they only give the customers point something and one basically about 1.2%.
Yeah, we have talked about that over the last few years. It's something that we have talked about.
But the trickle down thing is not working. It bottlenecks someplace.
Yeah, for one reason or another, that tends to happen. Yes.
And you know something? It's the initiative.
Mhm.
That where we have as Jamaicans, where it's not policy that's driving us.
Mhm.
It's definitely not policy.
Yeah, policy direction is important, and that's where leadership comes in. And
all right.
Yes.
In the advertisement of the new money, one part they said it's actually saving the bank. The Bank of Jamaica.
Yes, why? Because they're going to last longer, more durable.
Yeah, but look, that's optic in the real sense of economics. Because you know how much money the bank has lost in the intervention to prop up the US dollar?
Oh yes, it's always quite painful to hear the numbers.
And it's still going up.
But the government will tell you, or the central bank governor, that they have to do what they have to do. They have to try. They must intervene, and they will intervene where they must.
All right. If the intervention still led to a rise, was that effort fruitful or futile?
On the face of it, assuming it was meant to be fruitful in a short space of time, the answer would be no.
All right.
Yes. Hold a moment. Hold a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Importers, shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration known as an IM4.
One moment, please. One moment.
Your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and
Jacto manual and battery operated sprayers and or tractor mounted boom and cannon sprayers.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yes, Dervan. I was saying, there's no way from a productive level you could justify that raise. And that won't attract any more people of integrity to the politics, you know.
No, because there's still those who want to stay as far away as possible from anything called politics, especially if it's of a Jamaican nature.
And in the real world, you cannot buy integrity.
Absolutely not. You either have it or you don't.
Yes. Just like numbers don't necessarily suggest morals.
Perfectly correct.
Because look, how you justify that raise when you only attend Parliament 27% of the times? You don't take this in account in evaluating your raise.
Well,
the punctuality time, the bills, that's still stacking up. What the public get for that? Yes.
So I don't know if it has been published anywhere, but I'm still curious to see the data with respect to how certain figures are arrived at. It would be quite instructive to find out. I know
All right.
there's a thing, the business of it, a lot of it being over, or some of it being overdue, based on
All right.
whatever system was in place or has been in place since 1971, etc.
But what about it? We should have access to that.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but I would love to see that.
All right. And
Sorry, go ahead.
another thing. Another thing. This morning I heard that the Minister of Information, he was alluding to in one area, but he didn't highlight the fact that the British Parliament has signed to the Code of Conduct. It's a Commonwealth thing.
Come again. Sorry, I think I missed that. Come again.
I said he was alluding.
Oh, the information minister. To
yes.
what avail? To what?
I forgot what was the circumstance, but there was some similarity in the Westminster model, a democracy and ours.
And is that
I'm saying?
Go ahead.
It shows that it's bad. What about the Code of Conduct that the British House has signed? British Parliament has signed it, and we're refusing. And the question is that I'd like to ask them: is there a conflict interest with the Code of Conduct, or is a conflict of interest with the agency that supervises it? And that would be the Integrity Commission. Where is the grouse?
That's a good question.
Because if the Code of Conduct is good for them, they overlook over it was handed to you. Just be glad it was designed. Because you cannot be designing laws for the masses and there be no law to protect the masses from you. You're not
I see. And that's why we're supposed we do have, but we can debate the nature and extent of that which we have, but the importance of checks and balances. So
exactly.
So you search my bag, I search yours, in a manner of speaking.
A congressman, a senator aired the US the other day, and right now he's on the floor explaining every word of his statement.
Yeah, it's called accountability.
All right. The other day, Shaw, before he left office as the Minister of Transport, he had said some buses had left China on May the 2nd and will be here at the end of June. Now we're hearing now that was not the case, and he said it in Parliament. Wasn't that misleading?
If that is in fact so, yes.
It is in fact so. Go to the record. Go, like man would say, go to the videotape. Go for the record. You see. I'm not here to propagandize anything or any party.
No, but I have to remember I choose you. I don't know if you realize. I don't know if you realize, but I choose my words carefully. I try my best. I try.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, but I'm saying, wouldn't that be? But you know something? Everything depends on the awareness of the masses.
Well, that's why those of us who know have a duty to share with those who don't, and not with a view to converting people one way or another, but with a view to creating a better level of understanding among the masses. That's a good thing.
Let people wait and decide.
That's right. Themselves. That's right.
Because people can decide, you know.
Of course.
They may not see the fullest meaning of it, but they can see where it's leading. The implications. Because sometimes it's personal.
Yeah, and sometimes we think we know what the people want, but instead, sorry, go ahead.
Dervan,
yes.
That's something I'm so annoyed with the politicians coming around telling people what they want instead of having a forum having people sit before them and asking the people to give us some ideas. Tell us how we can help you.
And that is the approach. That is the approach that is needed. We have been talking about that on this program for some time now. It can't be that one single individual just come and say, all right, we're going to patch these 2 roads and we're going to get some water coming to you from this area. It has to be more than that. It has to be a recognition that we're dealing with lives, right? And that people have a right to express themselves with respect to how they would like, what they see as the priorities. So that's what we have been saying for years. Can we have a situation where the people of the constituency put forward what they see as the priorities for the constituency? What should be the priorities? And then work from there, instead of you in that corner doing a little thing there, you in the other corner doing a little thing. That's not good enough.
There's a level of cruelty that's being exercised now by the transport authority and areas of the police, because they are accompanied by them. This is an example. I don't know if you're familiar with Maypen and its environment.
In general terms, yes. Glenmuir Road and related areas. Guinea Tree, yes.
Well, follow my reasoning. The other night, I was in a cab coming from Maypen towards Mineralites. It had a few people going to Versailles, so he drove up into Longbridge Avenue. Up the hill?
Yes.
That when you make that right immediately after exiting the bridge, and it was like 10 to 6, round about 6. And there were like 6 transport men stopping the vehicle on the brow of the hill. I mean, just 10 feet above, there would be an area big enough to accommodate passage. But they blocked the road.
Yeah, that can't be a good thing.
After 6, and look now.
I've seen it before, where people, because they have the authority to carry out certain duties, they get a little carried away, and without taking into account the positioning of vehicles and the convenience of a particular point along the way, etc.
A couple of them had balaclava on, right? Demanding the passenger to come out of the vehicle. So I said to him, I'm not coming out. You will identify, you say, this could be a robbery. Then he basically just showed the ID. Snap. The ID wasn't in my face for 5 seconds. And it was an ID from how it looks, but I couldn't identify who was on the ID. Put it back in his pocket. I walked away and left it. But I'm saying, if the people who live on Longbridge Avenue and there's no designated route for Longbridge, it's on the way to some other place, why couldn't they drop them off?
Maybe because they didn't plan to go that far.
But if there's no law against it, why they're instituting a law now just for the sake of revenue?
I don't know, if the law is there on the books, then the law must be administered. If not, if you're creating something for your own reason, then that's problematic.
I said to the policeman, I said, this is where Andrew is doing, standing on the neck of the poor people. And he retorted. He said, no one will vote for him. So I make him know without that doubt, so I never vote for Andrew, I'm PMP. So
yeah, well, so it is.
I'm citing that after 6, when people are in a rush to go home, and you're stopping people in an era where it has never been done. So I tell the people to challenge it in court. But you know something, Tom? Most of the taxi man, them so dunce. They not believe so them can win a court case just because Tom and Harry lost. So I'm telling, I tell them all the time, the case is based on the merit of the case. It's not a broad brush thing. But nobody, and it goes to the belief in the justice system. That's what it shows, right? When people are running away from the court, a place where you should get justice, what that suggests?
Running away from the court.
Yes.
Well, people have taken the law into their own hands over the years. That's big, because they think that it takes too long. The process takes too long, notwithstanding some strides that have been made in that regard.
I was trying to explain to them that even justice has a price. Don't watch that. You might miss 2 days, but you're setting a precedent to save a lot of people down the line. Because I even told them that some of the laws where you enjoy, whether here or foreign, people actually died for them. Mm-hmm. Government doesn't give you laws. Laws based up sometimes based on the demands of the people.
Yeah.
Because the government was always willing to impose, we have to have a level of control.
Yes.
But if the people not having it, they're not having it. For example, bread has not risen in Egypt since 1971. You
mean the price?
The price of bread has not risen in Egypt since 1971. When government raised the price, there was a national riot. Google that.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised, because I heard of a story of a Jamaican businessman in the patty business. I think we might have shared it here before. When he add something like a couple of cents to the price of the patty, he noticed that sales dropped. So he took off back the few cents that he had put on, and the price, the sales went back up.
But I want you check out that speech with Arthur Shaw. And we'll talk, Dervan.
All right, thanks. You too. Take care.
The program is very enlightening. Very.
Thank you. Take care.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
It's here. Jamaica's new polymer banknotes. Polymer banknotes are produced from a thin, transparent, and flexible plastic film. Why the transition from paper to polymer? Polymer banknotes stay cleaner, they're more difficult to counterfeit, and they last longer. Plus, special features on the notes, like those developed for the visually impaired, last for the entire lifespan of the notes. The introduction of polymer banknotes will increase the average circulation life of notes by at least 50%. As a result, orders for banknotes will be reduced, and Bank of Jamaica will realize savings. Look out for your new polymer banknotes.
With over 40 years of record service, Lock Safe and Vault Limited is your trusted security provider. Get affordable prices on a wide variety of seals, garage doors, access control supplies, magnetic lock, fingerprint, weatherproof keypads, card access system, time attendance, power supplies, and exit buttons. Professional services provided. Visit 40 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. Problem solved with Lock Safe and Vault.
Both sides of the story.
Do you have a title for your land? Are you thinking about buying or selling land? How much is your property worth? Tune into Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for The NLA and You, a program that examines the National Land Agency's role in building an efficient and transparent land titling system for Jamaicans. That's The NLA and You on Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better.
One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Yes, you spread your wings and you take to the sky. But till that morning, There's nothing can hold
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Quickly to clear just a couple of messages or so. Devon White says, people talking, where did it go? People talking about propping up the dollar. The higher the rate goes, is the more prices increase. Don't some people realize that? And he says, from the lifting of the foreign exchange regulation, the dollar can't stabilize. And it seems those who should know that don't know. From Devon White on YouTube. Over on Facebook Live, I will come back to Facebook Live in a moment. Let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon. Do you hearing me?
Good afternoon. I'm hearing you. Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. I'm a pensioner, you see. I'm a 80-year-old pensioner.
Yes.
I changed the last 15th of April. I write up the slip and send it up to show that I am not dead. When I go back to the post office to collect my pension book, I get no book. I go to the NIS office and give them my information. They give me another form to fill up. I fill up the form and send it back to them so that I am not dead. For if you don't send up that form, they don't send the money to you. So I went to the NIS office 3 times. They said they would give me a check. I went there Wednesday, last week Wednesday. They said to come back Friday. I go back Friday. I don't get it. When I leave, going home, 2 boys hold me up and box me up and beat me up and me tell me say I'm a 80-year-old pensioner and never fight. And if I did get the money, I would go to doctor.
Oh no.
Saturday was my birthday. I couldn't even buy a malt and drink. That's the way they treat people at the labor office of where they give you your pension money.
I'm imagine anyone at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security wishing that such a thing happened to you. We're terribly sorry to hear that. This is where, and it's something we've talked about before, we need a core of young people, because that again is for the harmonization of the generations.
Yes, sir.
A core of young people who, whether for a small fee or if they are if they are funded by the government, however it is done, but just so that we have senior citizens and other vulnerable groups being put out to dry in the sun or something like that. We cannot afford that. Or those of us, we know the saying by now, and it is a fact, you can tell a lot about a country by how they treat their children, their senior citizens, females, people in general, how we treat the dead as well, for example. And this is not us. Something has gone terribly wrong. This is really not us. We're supposed to be a kind, caring set of people. We're always looking out for each other. If I cook enough food and I have enough to share, we say, share out some of this and give Aunt Birchell, Aunt Willie or Winnie or whoever.
Yes.
That kind of an attitude. It's what we knew growing up, a lot of us, but unfortunately, we have found ourselves in a situation in this fast-paced world where too many people are being left behind, and it's something we need to look at. All of us need assistance or will need assistance at one point or another. But the least we can do right now is to identify the most vulnerable among us and to put in place solutions to ensure that they're not languishing to collect their pension money, that they're not languishing, that people are not causing them. I mean, paperwork is important, prudence is important. But,
yes, sir.
but
hear me.
yes.
Do we have somebody named Minister of Justice that when these things happen to us, he could go to the Prime Minister, go to hijack and suggest that the pensioner they are not getting their money?
Well, we have the Office of the Public Defender. The Public Defender is supposed to, in a manner of speaking, stand between the people and the state, the people and the government. And where the people are wronged one way or another, the public defender investigates, as far as we understand it. And that's at one. Sorry, go ahead.
You know, this morning I met a ex-pastor. He is around 85, and he said that his book lost.
The pension book.
Yes, sir. And from last year, he is applying for another book, and up till now, he cannot get another book to get a money for his that man actually blind. He can't even walk good, and he can't get another book just to sign up to get something to eat and drink. That's the way this government treats us as pensioners.
Well, again, I don't think any responsible government would respond in that way. Really and truly.
Sir, you know, I work one place.
Who sets out to do evil in such a way? I mean, why would somebody do that?
You know, I'm here 80. And when I go to the NIS office, the boy tell me that I don't look like 80. But I'm serving a God. I am in Church of God over 30 years. And the way how I keep myself, they wouldn't believe that I am 80-year-old.
Well, more of us need to follow in your footsteps by taking care of ourselves, even as we look out for others to play their part in assisting us.
I don't smoke. I don't drink. I just go to church and come back to my yard. And it hurt me very much to know that those two boys boxed me up and I not even have money.
Out of order.
To doctor.
Out of order.
When I born, I don't fight, sir, if you want to believe me.
No, I'm in that category as well, sir. I'm in that category, yeah.
I'm trying to be honest. So why people cannot honest to us as old people? I know one somebody out there they cry this morning.
Yeah, we need. I think Peter Bunting started something a few years ago. I don't know. Some people say, well, he was just doing it because of whatever reason. But it's where again young people were enlisted to assist senior citizens. I don't remember how it got started, why it got started in detail, but I know Peter Bunting was involved at some point in that. And it seems to me, as I keep saying, can we get together a core of young people to properly train them and prepare them for interacting and interfacing with senior citizens, and making sure that they are certified, making sure that if you have to get a police record for them, to verify that they don't have, and they're not in trouble with the law, etc., etc. I think we need to look at that, a core of young people who can, I don't know whether we want to call them, well, maybe nobody, well, whatever name, but it needs that kind of consistency. So you have the officials in the ministry who have to make certain positions and decisions at the policy level, but on the ground, in making things happen, in moving the process along, that is going to be helpful. Otherwise, we're going to have the same problems that we've been all the time.
Why the wealth of the country is only for the politicians?
Well, I don't know that is so, that the wealth of the country is only for politicians. The fact of the matter is that it really should be about public service. That's really what it should be about. But having said that, people have bills that have to be paid if we want people to be able to function in a way that is impactful. One of the new words that I don't necessarily like, but I just used it.
But what about our bill? My God, may I tell you, sir, you don't know what I am going through. Right now, I tell you, where one of the boys lick me on my shoulder, he would swell if I did have money, I go to doctor, and I can't get the liquor.
No, so you're not able on your own to just go to the doctor and to be treated.
If you go to a public doctor down here, you have to pay actually $5,000, $4,000, but you can't go to the clinic.
So you don't pay at the clinic, but you pay at the public hospital?
You pay at a private doctor. I don't go to the hospital. I never go to the hospital.
Right, because as far as I know, I mean, if there's a citizen of Jamaica who has an issue, a health issue, they go to the hospital. Now, if there are those who can afford to go to a private hospital, and they do, or go to a private doctor. But the public health sector is supposed to respond to the needs of the people.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Well, sir, I don't know how.
All right, hold the line, please. Let's take some information from